Hey guys, welcome to Bigkats Golf. Man, I'm excited to be here, guys. This is the first video that I've actually put out. I've been waiting because up here in Michigan, as you know, it's not always. Well, I'm looking at the weather. It doesn't always cooperate with golf. So this is we're in the middle of March. It's 31 degrees, 29, and it's cold. It's just welcoming you guys in. The reason I put this channel together, there's a couple reasons. I'll get into that, but I just started golf a few years back, and so and the reason it took me so long to adapt it. I'm 48 now. When I was younger, my mother did buy me a set of clubs. They were just like everybody's first set of clubs, right? They were hurting, and that was in second grade. When I was about 10 years old, my mother got me a Big Brother for the Big Brother Big Sister program, and this guy's name was Gary Christensen, and Gary had did a lot for my life. Gary was real instrumental in a lot of the stuff that I did, and his boys, his kids, they were a part of it. He brought me right into the family. Well, Gary bought me a starter golf set, and I don't know what it was, maybe Mizuno, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, there's about 4 clubs, a putter and a driver, which I couldn't use any of them. And but he used to take us out to the golf course. And golf was just the most boringest sport in the world. It was boring because I didn't know how to do it. Fast forward a few years later, and one of his sons, he had two boys. One was Chris, one was Corey, and I played with Chris as well. But I started playing a lot more golf with Corey, and the golf. They lived off from a golf course up in Rudyard, Michigan, and so. Hey, don't hold this against us up in Rudyard, but we were just kids, man. I was probably a junior. Corey was probably freshman. And so what we would do is we didn't have anything to do. And so we would go to the driving range. Well, Corey's fingers were a little smaller, so he could get his pinky in there. I'll take responsibility for it, though, because I was there egging him on. I was like, get some tokens out, Corey. And so he could grab some tokens, put them in there, so we could hit free golf balls up at this range. And so that's where I first started swinging the golf club. And I got a little footage of that I'll include, down the road. But long story short is that was where I got my first exposure to hitting balls and getting on the driving range. And I would encourage you, if you have any kids, and if they're 5 or 6 years old, get them into golf, man. It's a sport you could play till you're 90 or until you die, either way. But you could continue to keep playing that game. All the other sports, they're just they're too hard on the body. And I wish I would have picked it up earlier. I wish I would have grabbed some nuggets when I was young. And then as I'm watching a golf channel or something, and somebody's like, keep your hands in this spot, or, you're looking for this, the technique, then it could have sat in my mind. Now I'm trying to grab all this information so fast and furious because I got a small window I'm trying to achieve at, right? So, but then after that, my brother, Dave, he did take me out a few times, to the golf course, and we would play, and it was fun just hanging out with him, and as well as some other families. My brother Skeeter, we would go out to Sycamore with a guy named Bill Smith. He would take us out. It's just, so I say all that for this reason is, if you could get kids in your, and man, get them out there, get them on the range, get them a couple lessons, get the fundamentals under their belt, and then they have it forever, right? And so fast forward, I've had those clubs all the way up till about 3 years ago. Well, I started a YouTube channel on video poker. And when I came back that week, a friend of mine, Rex, he had this golf outing for his business. He's a financial advisor. And he says, JK, come on out and play with us, man. It's a good time, blah, blah, blah. You'll know some of the guys. I said, Rex, I don't play, this, that. And I said, I got the same clubs I've had since second grade, literally. Well, I was playing basketball that same week before I went to Vegas. and I had pulled a calf muscle. So in my mind, I was like, man, I need to do something different. I can't keep playing basketball. I can't play baseball anymore. So we went out there. I went out there, stunk it up. If you've ever played golf for the first time, you know how it is. And so it was a 4-man scramble. So Rex is a scratch golfer, and so he put me on his team, of course, and we didn't keep any of my shots. Why would we? So long story short, he looked at my clubs and giggled. Now you got to know the relationship with me and Rex. So Rex and I, we've played basketball for years. Good friend of mine, and he looks at my clubs and he's like, "You can't play with these. It's like playing with a Spalding basketball with rubber grip, blah blah blah." So I said, well, okay. He says, I'm going to give you my club. So he gave me a set of Epons, which obviously were a little bit more advanced than I could deal with. So I bought a range membership. I got a couple lessons from a golf pro here in the area. But Bill Morey, if you guys know East Lansing, the country club, he was a golf pro. Got a few lessons from him. Didn't play much the first year. Didn't play much the second year. The first half of the year. And then a buddy of mine, James Granger, came up to me and he was like, "Hey, they're saying you're playing golf." And and so a little bit of my personality is, I don't run my mouth all the time, just some of the time when I'm sleeping, and you know what I'm saying. And so I used to playing basketball with these guys for years. And so sometimes I get, a little amped up, start running my mouth. So then they find out that I'm playing golf. They're like, "Oh, here's a chance for us to stick it in his cheeks." But James, he kind of took me under his wing, and he helped me with situational stuff, little stuff like maybe reading the green, or hey, if there's bunkers on the left, you might want to try to stay right, and just simple stuff that I wish I would have adapted to when I was, because so when my father, I met my father just a handful of times, and I was baseball from the start. And so when I was growing up, I might have been like, I don't know, when I was talking to maybe 10, 11 years old. And that's bad, right? Met him a handful of times at 10, 11. Well, you can't play baseball and golf. You can only pick one of the two. And I said, well, then I'm going to pick baseball, because baseball was my sport. Baseball was in my blood from the start. And then basically I never saw him again. But which that really is a true statement. But actually I did see him a couple times after that. So it turned me up, because he was saying that, as he was explaining it, he said it's just too difficult to play both sports. Now, I will give him credit on it is difficult to play both sports. It's difficult to play any sports at a high level. We can all play them. It's just patterns, though, right? So, like, if your golf game isn't where you want it to be right now, it's just that you're not able to relax your mind and get the new patterns in. Anything can be taught if you're teachable and if you're motivated. And so I coached baseball for 20 years, and I know that if I have a kid that has that will, that wants to make it happen, he'll make it happen. And so, long story short, so let's speed you back up. So then, James kind of took me under his wing. He showed me a lot of stuff, and so I've been playing a lot of golf the last few years. So my goal was this. This is what I always told. If you ran across anybody that I ever coached, they would say the same thing. They said, "Yeah, Coach Cat told you if we did anything for 10,000 hours, we'd be a professional. And so if we put in the time, then it would happen." And so typically I feel like if you put in enough time, if you put in 20 hours a week, at the end of 5 years, you should be right where you want to be. Golf is a tough sport, we know. So I'm modeling this for myself, right? So I have about 2 years left, and my goal was to be a scratch golfer. And so you'll see this journey. I got 2 years left to put in some time. Up here, it's difficult to golf, right? You get about a solid, 6-7 months, and then the rest of the months, Michigan, it's cold, it's snowy, it's blah blah blah, rainy. I'm setting up a golf simulator, so I thought it was going to be done by now. I got 3/4 of it in the garage, and I still got screens coming, and I have a computer graphics card coming, blah blah blah. So ultimately, some of this is going to be filmed in the garage, and most of it will be out on the golf course. You guys will see. Michigan has some great golf courses. Beautiful thing about Michigan, it's if you live here, you already know, but it's it's colorful in the summer. It's just green. It's beautiful. A lot of great golf courses up here. So, and I'll feature them. The majority of them here in the area. So, again, that's that. That's Bigkats Poker at its finest. As we start rolling and I start kicking out videos, you guys will see pretty much what it's going to be about. It's going to be about a golf journey, but it's also going to be about the people that I know, the relationships that I have, and some of the stories that are being told. We got, as you know, we all have friends that have wild stories and good stuff, and just really like to kick back. Now, one of the reasons that I did start the channel, because as some of you guys know, is I have a video poker channel, and it's called Bigkats Poker. And Bigkats Poker, man, I've met a lot of fine people on Bigkats Poker. I've met a lot of, the amount of fan support, everything. I mean, it's beautiful. I love that. I'm glad I did it. I set it up. The one thing that the one thing that's tough about Bigkats Poker is the footage that I get typically tends to be around gambling. And I love to gamble, and I always gamble. That's just what it is. But I don't like to promote gambling, and which I do. That's what I do, right? I promote it because it looks entertaining, it's fun, and I love it. I want to be careful as well, because a lot of times when you're gambling, you spend a lot of money on entertainment, and that's what it is, entertainment at the end of the day. And if somebody likes my character, I would much rather them come to Bigkats Golf, and if they can get the same entertainment, and maybe they're trying to stay out of that space, here we are. So if that makes any sense, I'll still be, don't worry, Bigkat Poker's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Bigkats Golf will be going somewhere too. So all in all, this is just an introductory. You guys will, once the season breaks and I get that simulator in, we're going to have some people slowly over, and who knows, maybe one of these days we'll be golfing with you around mid-Michigan. That's the wild thing about the internet. It brings the whole world closer. So look forward to seeing all you guys. If you guys have a chance, if you even think it, you're like, this guy, he seems all right. He don't shave, but he seems all right. Just hit the subscribe button and link yourself in, and you'll get some stuff. You'll get it. I'll drip on you. Maybe once a week, couple times a week. Just give you some entertainment. That's all I am. It's just kick back. You had a hard day at work. You kick back, relax, get some entertainment, enjoy it, and maybe we'll see you on the course sometime. All right, guys.